Once you cross this line and you on this side, that's when things get turned up. And that's the spirit, because a little while I'm gonna do a video on this. You know, this one's pertaining to the women. The women always want to know what's their part, what's their part in this thing, and da da da. We go into that all the time. But the topic at hand is the title that I got put together, Lord willing, is you women's greatest test or biggest test will be sharing a man and a husband. That's their test. Besides Jacob's trouble and all hell breaking loose with the mark of the beast, their biggest test right now, you sisters that call yourself sisters, your biggest test is when your husband or your man gets another wife. How many of you are really ready for that? You call yourself a sister, you know, you call yourself, you know, believing in Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shah. Do you believe that your man, your husband, is this God-given right to acquire another woman? You can't have no beef with that? How many of y'all really about that? You know? Hey, brothers can speak from experience in certain things where we can tell you that that's going to be your biggest test. Whether you a first wife, second wife, third wife, whatever. That time is going to come when Isaiah 4:1 starts to kick off. You know, which the elder bro Yashua but I did a beautiful video about that. You know, entitled how was it? Well, Apostles Paul advice or something like that pertaining to women in marriage. And as I was listening to it, I'm like, yo, a lot of these women are really going to be this, because the topic is you really serving the Lord when you're on this side. So a lot of you women, your test is going to begin when you start serving that man. To be single is one thing. I'm just putting it out there into the atmosphere because I know from experience. To be single is one thing, but now to serve a man of the Lord, that's when your mission really starts. Now you're serving that man, right? And let's say you get another wife, or he already have a wife. Now the dynamics of a woman learning how to coincide in the polygamous nature, or whatever, that's gonna be a test, because jealousy is gonna be the Western way of the way the concept of love and things, all of that is still gonna exist, and now you gotta totally delete that shit. Because if you're single, you really don't gotta battle that. Think about it. When you're single as a woman, you really don't have to battle that. But once you cross that line and you're dealing with one of these brothers here, now separating what you were taught about relationships and love and marriages and shit like that, now it changes. Now everything you've been listening to, now you gotta apply it. And that's gonna be your test. And I know that for a fact, bro. I know that for a fact, and that's gonna be, I speak from experience. Alright? And like I said, if you brothers haven't watched the Elder Bro Yashua video, go check it out. You know, because Jake always loved that topic. You know why? Because that's what Jake deal with on a daily basis. And it makes sense. Jake loved that topic so much because that's what they deal with on the friggin' daily. So they want to know, you know, hey, how can I better my situation? Brothers talking about some shit I got to deal with every day. Let me listen. Yeah, that.
These females know we don't belong to you. We belong to Yahweh Shai. Right? You belong to us, but we don't belong to you. And that's because the Western side of the world has been you've been basically deceived, man. Because they gave you the power over the man, which was a curse upon the men. Oh. That the woman shall
come past the man.
Yeah. And the society made it seem that we got to go on one knee, we got to worship you, we got to make our whole world about you. But really, your whole world is about us. We don't belong to you. We belong specifically to Yahweh Shai. Oh. That's when you go to Revelation 19, I think the 1 to 10, it says that we're going to marry the Lamb, and we are white and clean. Because we belong to Yahweh Shai. The woman belongs to us. We don't belong to you.
At the end of the day, it's either, like I mentioned, it's Yahweh Shai's way or what? The highway. And it's the same thing with the man. It's his way or it's the highway. You know what I'm saying? And that's gonna be a conflict. It's gonna be a conflict. Hey, that's why again I'm gonna quote the scripture. Matter of fact, somebody get in Shabbat, the 2nd chapter. You know, because the spirit dawned on me when I was listening to the Elder Bros video, and I was like, yo, a lot of you women, your biggest test is gonna be when your man, your husband, you gotta get him another woman, and it's our God-given right. You know, your first wife, I got you out. Your first woman is gonna be a test for her. It's gonna be amazing. It's gonna be a big test for her, and it's gonna be a big test for the second woman too. You know, Because now they gotta get over each other and shit. Hey, you know what those scriptures talk about how look at your foremothers. Look at your foremothers, man. You had Leah and Rachel. Yeah. Leah and Rachel, they were sisters. Yeah. They were sisters, and Rachel was the one that Jacob loved the most. And that's another thing. You know, women they see love like the brother was getting into, which is the spirit, because I was going into that word romance, you know, earlier this year. But that romance shit is the concept of the Roman Empire, literally. You know, I don't deal with that romance shit, that romantic shit. I'm not romantic. Don't ask me about no fucking romantic shit. I'm not romantic. You know, I know how to love, but I'm not romantic. I'm not gonna go and, like the brother mentioned, bowing down and being a simp and da-da-da. There's a balance at the end of the day. But your concept of what love is really was taught by the world. The world taught you that shit. Esau taught you that. And when you meet and encounter a man of the Lord, that's not what you're gonna see. For the most part. If brothers still got that spirit, that romance spirit lingering in them, your best bet is to get rid of that shit. Because you know what it's gonna do? It's gonna get you in trouble. It's gonna get you in trouble, just like how niggas in the world get in trouble for sipping over women. It's gonna get you in trouble. You gotta come as a man of Yahweh Shemi Shah, bro. And guess what? Those that are gonna fuck with you are gonna fuck with you. That's the easy way to weed out those that are really with you or those that are not. Be a servant of Yahweh Shemi Shah. Be a man of the Lord, bro. And then those that are gonna gravitate to you, they're gonna gravitate to you through righteousness, through who you are. You know? So all that simple shit, that romance shit, hey, get rid of that shit, bro. I'm not saying don't go out, don't do nothing nice and da 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 da. That's not romance. That's just whatever. And even with that comes a certain balance. Remember, we are servants of Yahweh Shemi Shah before anything else. Everything else is secondary. However, we want to categorize that, man. That's why, you know, the Lord, Apostle Paul made the statement through, you know, of course he's the man of the Lord. This is all beautiful, spiritual, righteous advice. They that have wives be as though they have none. Meaning what? If you have a wife, then cool. Don't be in the shit where everything she say you got to do it. Shalom, bro. Everything, you know, she want to do this. All the ideas. Let's go here. Let's do this. Let's do that. Let's do this. It's going to hinder you from this truth. You know, if you allow it to, it will hinder you from this truth. And that's why I say if you allow it to. There's nothing wrong with going, traveling, this, that, and this. But you know, it comes at your balance. Your balance. Your say so. Your authority. Whatever. And if you don't like how that sounds, then hey, you know, hit the highway.
Yeah, Con, I was gonna make a suggestion to the sisters. What you mentioned that's gonna be their real challenge. My suggestion to you sisters that are listening is that you pray that the Lord put the spirit on you to accept it, not to try to deal with it in the flesh. So that should be your prayer. Just like how we pray when the MOTB comes, because we're in the flesh, we ain't gonna be able to deal with that. You're gonna have to pray now. We're practicing that now. When that time comes, hey, may Yahweh Shema Shah give you the spirit to deal with the MOTB. The same thing goes for you sisters. You're going to have to pray that the Lord gives you the spirit to deal with that challenge and that test of a man having another wife. Because you're not going to be able to do it in the flesh. You know what I'm saying? You ain't equipped to deal with that type of trial. Right. Because the Lord ain't make you built for that. You ain't built for that. So pray on that now.
And on top of that, you in the Western world. Trust me, we know what we're saying. We know what we're talking about up here, bro. At the end of the day, you women are the weaker vessel. So you think Satan ain't going to... See, you can say now, yeah, I'm down for it, because you ain't in it. You really cross that line once you start serving the man of Yahweh Shemi Shah. And that is a fact. All right, yeah, you know the Lord is working through, you know, working you in certain ways to get you right, you know, to prep you and fashion you, and all of that's happening. You gaining the knowledge from what we're saying, but the best teacher is what? Experience. Experience is the best teacher. You know, so once you cross that line, whenever the Lord allow that to happen, you're really gonna see what it is. Now you're no longer outside looking in. You actually gonna feel that fire in there. You actually gonna feel the pressure. You actually gonna feel some of the scripture says they become one flesh, right? Now you're gonna feel some of that pressure that man is dealing with. And vice versa. Now he's going to deal with some of that pressure that you're dealing with. You know? Who got Sirach, the second chapter? Yeah, bro. Real quick.
Sirach chapter 2, verse 1. It says, Ecclesiasticus,
Yep.
my son, if thou come to serve the Lord, prepare thy soul for temptation.
Right, and a lot of people, a lot of Israelites, they don't want to go through trials and tribulations. They don't. You see, they may get involved. They start getting their feet wet and all of that. But once they start feeling that heat, their spirit is telling them that, yo, this is coming from this. Their spirit is telling them, yo, this is coming from the truth. Because here it is, they could be catching hell in the world before the truth. Wondering, why am I catching hell? But now that they're in this thing, they know the spirit is telling them, yo, this is from this. Let me fall back. Let me fall back. So what we're telling you is when you come to serve the Lord, prepare your soul for temptation. You're going to be tested. You're going to be tried. But guess what? That's a good thing. That's a good thing because that's how the Lord refines you. You know? That's how the Lord refines us. Through that fire. So back, pertaining to the woman, you cross that line, cross that threshold, yo, endure. Endure. Your emotions are going to get tested. Your little fragile emotions and all that, what you thought and this and that, your thought, which is deceitful above all things and desperately wicked. Remember, when brothers were saying it, you was all con. Now when you go through this shit, you better apply that. Now that you on the other side, you better be like con. The brothers did say I was going to deal with this. Just like how when we say it, eventually it comes time when we got to practice it because we end up going through it. And that's when this truth is the most important, when you apply it. Hearing is one thing, but the reason why we set up to hear it is to prepare us for when that time does come. Why are we out here prophesying? Right. We out here prophesying to prepare the world and the people for what's to come. So when this shit go down, the hour of temptation, all hell breaking loose, what are we going to do, brothers? We're going to apply everything that we've been teaching and learning. So when you females cross that threshold and cross that line, hey, apply them scriptures. Just know that your feelings and your emotions are wrong. I don't care how right it may feel, it's wrong. And you know what? If you're a sincere sister, or the Lord is allowing you to be one of the sisters that He's gonna deal with on that level through a man, He's gonna allow you to see it eventually. But if you're not, what's gonna happen is you're gonna get taken away in that ought. This is going to take you out. You're going to get offended, and you're going to be like, nah, this is not what I thought. Nah, this ain't right. And then you're going to be gone. And guess what? After you're gone, that's it. That door of mercy is shut because you ain't going to get with another man. You're not going to say, nah, he was like this. Let me see who's more like my, less, more calm and not so austere. Let me see who's a simp. In other words, let me look for a simp. Go ahead, bro.
Or another prophet, because some of these females will say, you know what? Well, I didn't work out. Things didn't work out with him. So I'm going to go to another man. That's not going to happen. You get one shot with this thing, bro. It's not going to happen.
That's confusion, and that's adultery. The Lord is not a man of confusion. He's not an author of confusion. Trust and believe that's confusion because unions and marriages and things of that nature and getting together and dealing because it's happening. I'll tell you right now it's happening. But you know what? That also, it ties, the spirits together, so to speak.
Yeah.
You can't be having these spirits jumping around and hopping around. That's why people got demons on them. Because they're just sleeping around. Pouring demons into one cup. All they doing is pouring demons into one cup. All them demons going into that one cup. And then here it is, you a man drinking of that cup. That was that cup of demons is that woman. And now that nigga got demons on him. And he gonna go and pour that demon into another cup. And then this is gonna be a chaotic scene.
Yes.
Follow up. Yeah, you want to say something?
I'm saying that one of the main ingredients that drives us to apply the scripture is fear of the Lord. It's because we fear the Lord. So for you women, the fear of the Lord is what should drive you to your husband. Because your husband is your God.
Exactly. He's your Lord. He's your ticket. He's your ticket up out of here. And I know for a fact that there's women that still watch and sisters, and they probably the ones on the comment board, Shalom and all that good stuff. That I know for a fact that a lot of them in the back of their mind is like, I don't know, I can't see my man. You may have been with him since the world, like 25 years of marriage, 30 years of marriage. Now, hey, that's gonna be your test. Because if that man say, yo, he want another woman, then that's that. And I'm just putting it out there. I'm not saying brothers go out there and start collecting souls and shit, being a soul collector. No, I'm not saying all of that. You know, I'm just putting that out there. This is more so advice for you sisters that truly believe in Isaiah 41 is around the corner. But the thing with the actual Isaiah 41 popping off is that the dynamics of this world is going to shift. The feelings and the emotions and the chaos and all that is not going to mean anything because of the world and the environment that we're going to be in. That's why it's best for brothers to just sit tight and wait. To where you don't have to deal with that shit and play the game and all of this other bullshit, bro. Just wait. Huh? Yeah, don't force the course of the river, you know, which is a spiritual way of what the Lord wants. And like I said, the Lord is appearing and going to appear, and there's going to be more that happen. Brothers, use your spiritual discernment. Use wisdom and be patient. You know, like the brother, the elder bro Yashawamba, and the elder bro Kasap was going into that other video. Most Jakes don't even really desire. It's not like they want marriage so bad. It's just that some brothers just drop. It's really the box they want, the pussy they want, the companionship. You know?
I saw that.
Huh? Yeah. Yeah. It's not even more so because marriage is a duty. It's an actual duty. Some brothers aren't built for that duty just yet because it's just not the case. You better off just doing what you've been doing and wait for the Lord to open up another doorway, bro. You know? But for the women out there, listen. Get on board. Like the brother Ayasha, man, get your mind right. Get your mind right, man. Prepare yourself. You know? Seize the opportunity, so to speak, but with patience and prayer and faith and hope. You know? That's the advice I can give on that. But finish up in Sirach. I'll get a few more verses and you'll get back in the precepts and I'll pass it to the brother.
So this is Ecclesiasticus chapter 2, verse 3. It says, cleave unto, matter of fact, 2. Set the heart aright and constantly endure.
Right. Set your mind aright and constantly endure. Because this thing is going to be a constant battle. The only reason why you got to constantly endure is because it's going to be a constant war. It's going to be a constant battle. All the time. Even when you're not physically, spiritually, financially, or I'm not going to say spiritually, even if you're not physically, financially, or whatever, you're still going to always have to battle your mind. That's why I said set your mind aright, set your heart aright. No matter what, you're always going to still have to battle your mind. Always, bro. Because you know what? This shit goes everywhere with you. Even in your sleep, your mind is going to fuck with you. Satan's going to fuck with you, try to attack you in your dreams, and you have an off-ass dream and you wake up mad about it. You know, you wake up fucking mad, like, why the fuck I had to have that dream, man? You know what I mean? Doing that dumb shit. Okay?
It says, whatsoever is brought upon thee, hold on, 3. It says, cleave unto him and depart not away, that thou mayest be increased at thy last end.
Right. Cleave unto him and depart not away, that thou mayest be increased at thy last end. Because who's going to increase it like we were going into in the beginning? Yahweh Shai. We're not going to increase ourselves.